Hello, good morning, everybody, and good morning, students, viewers, and friends. I have referred these three names that is, students, viewers, and friends. It has special intention behind it. Students, I referred this name because I hope that students will watch this video and they will learn something from this. Viewers, I used this word because some viewers are there, those who are visiting on the YouTube and watching my videos. So, to viewers, and lastly, I referred the word friends. Friends and colleagues, those who are working with me in my institution, in my college. You all are requested to pay your attention because today I am going to discuss with you a very different topic. It is not a topic involved in any syllabus. It is not a part of any lesson, or it is not a part of any unit, but it is something totally different. What it is, I don't want to raise your curiosity more. Few days before, or few years before, I can say, not few years but 1 decade before, 1 decade or 1.5 decade before, I have read a poem. You know, dear students and my friends, our college or our institution is having a very good history of effective professors, very learned professors in their respective subjects, in their respective areas. So what I was talking about is that 15 years before or 16 years before, I heard a poem, or read a poem, you can say. It was a poem written by Dr. Gazviye sir. It was written a poem in Marathi, and it was titled as Mortandra. It was very greatly appreciated by then critics, and I still remember that night when he read that poem in one poet's gathering. Later on, when that poem was published in an anthology published by Sunil Pawar, the appreciation of that poem was done by Dr. Gazgate sir, and he appreciated that poem very well. But now, few days before, means in this long summer vacation, one day I received a post on WhatsApp, and that was the text of this Marathi poem, Mortandra. It was sent to me on my WhatsApp by Gazviye sir. I read that poem again, And reading of that poem made me or set me in trance. And when I was in trance after reading that poem, there was a thought in my mind. That thought came in my mind, and I thought that, can I translate that poem? Can I translate this poem in English? But as it is the original creation of the poet, without his permission, I don't want to translate it. So I requested him. So I requested Gasbia sir to give me the permission to translate this poem into English. And with his kind permission, I translated that poem into English. I am not giving you that translated poem, or I am not presenting that translated poem to you, or I am not going to read only that poem which I have translated. But today I would like to bring to you the aesthetic ideas of the poem. That how brilliantly, how artistically, how craftily, and how masterly the poet has trying to exhibit, how artistically the poet is trying to express his deep feelings. And for the common reader, or for the reader who is reading very commonly, or a poet who want to read any poem very casually, cannot understand the deep meaning involved in the poem. The poem is written by the poet, and you know the name, that is O.M. Gasbia sir. He has written that poem. Any poet who is writing his poetry is not writing a single word without experiencing that feeling. First he experiences, then he captured that experiences inward in himself and mix something poetic in that, and then he would like to share that experiences, that feelings with the whole world. After all, it is my conception, or it is my own appreciation, that how a poet creates a poetry. There are so many critics, those who have given the definitions. I don't want to go in deep for explaining the different definitions given by Arnold and T.S. Eliot and Wordsworth and all that. What I feel, because my intention is to make you aware about the aesthetic element in the poem, and with that I would like to make the appreciation of the poem. In back days or in back years, the poem was criticized. Today I am not criticizing the poem. Try to understand this. I am not criticizing the poem. No, I am not a critic. I don't have that type of ability to call myself as a critic. But I am trying to appreciate the poem. And a poet who is writing his poetry is writing with the combination of his experiences and sharing that combination of experiences with the thoughts involved in his mind and trying to share that thoughts and experiences to the readers. A poet as a persona is a product of situation, surrounding, society, study, and circumstances happening in his life. So if you go through the details of all these things in any poet's life, you will find that how different poets are writing different poetry. As far as this poem is concerned, it was written in that period, it was written in that time when the poet was very poetic in his life. Now, when a man is very poetic in his life, a man becomes very poetic in his life when he is experiencing some romance, when he is experiencing the romantic element or romantic surroundings in his life. So with this romantic background, with this romance situation in the life of the poet is trying to share the experiences with readers. Now, as it was written in Marathi, I have translated it into English. The poet is considering himself a musk deer. He is a musk deer. When I was trying to translate that poem into English, there is a word in Marathi that is tandra. If I wanted to translate that word into English, I should translate it as drowsiness. But I could not do that, and I don't want to do that. I don't want it to do that, because that drowsiness is something different. Drowsiness don't have, it may be the direct verbal meaning of that, but it is not giving that sense. And in literature, sense is more important than tense. So that drowsiness, the translation of that tandra was not allowing me to put that word in the title, so I could not put that word. Now I call it the aesthetic sleep. How is it? I will explain it later. So the poet is trying to call himself a musk deer. Try to understand this concept. Musk deer is having musk with himself, but he cannot understand where is it. The musk deer cannot understand where the musk is, and he is just moving here and there in search of the aesthetic fragrance of that musk. And he is only experiencing the existence of that exotic musk and cannot finding it exactly at spot. And he is moving here and there, everywhere. And where he is moving and how he is moving, the musk deer or a musk deer is moving here and there restlessly without pause and trying to find out the very existence of the musk. But he could not. And the musk deer is wandering here and there. That was the place where the dark clouds having shadows on the mountains, and that mountains are sky kissing. So it is a dark, deep jungle. In the dark, deep jungle, the musk deer is moving restlessly without pause in search of the musk. Then a poet himself used this first person singular pronoun in his poem, that me, and I have translated it as I. He danced unstopped by involving in himself. But he is waiting. The musk deer is waiting for the arrival of the dawn. Arrival of the dawn. And it was the dawn of her. It is in quote, her. It is a singular pronoun used for a lady, for any lady, not for particular lady. Now it depends on the readers to define her. The poet is not giving any suggestion. The poet is aloof from all that things. He used this pronoun, her, and he is trying to wait for the dawn. The musk deer is moving here and there in the dark mountain jungle and waiting that the light of the dawn will come, and it will be the light of the new arrival. The new arrival of what? He says a very beautiful words. Your smile with lusty eyes. Every word is very important. He wants affirmation. He wants positive response from the companion. And so he says that just give me the signals of yesness through your lusty eyes, and that will be the new dawn for me. That will be the new arrival for me. That will be the new morning for me. That will be the new light for me. Then again, I have already made some parts of that poem. I made totally 4 parts. Here the first part ends. In the second part of the poem, the poet says, I intend to reveal mysterious existence within extreme heat of lava for bath in itself along with you. When the morning will come, when the light will come, when the permission will come, when the yesness will come to him from her, a musk deer would like to have a bath and would like to search for the secret of the existence, and he would like to have the lava or the eruption of the lava that we call the eruption of the emotions he would like to have, or the musk deer would like to have. And in the eruption of that lava of the emotions, he would like to have bath with his beloved, with his companion deer, we can say. For aesthetic or platonic experiences, then I would be a musk deer moving restlessly, panting darkness for arrival of the new dawn. The musk deer is always expecting new dawn. And in the conclusive part of the poem, the poet says that when in the bath of the aesthetic rain we will be one, then we will move in, traveling through the clouds, you and me, united for the ages. So this uniqueness is not for a moment. This uniqueness is not for few time. It is for unending time. It is for the ages and ages. Or we can call this uniqueness is eternal. And a musk deer would like to have that uniqueness with his beloved deer. And through this uniqueness, he would like to enjoy the heavenly rain at ease for long period. He don't want to care for anybody in the world. He don't want to care for any situation in the world. He just want to be united to his beloved, to his companion. He would like to be more and more united. And there is no chance, there won't be any probability that they will be parted. So in the unique unitedness, this wandering musk deer would like to have the heavenly rain of blessings and the blessings of uniteness for again and again, for a very long length of ages. And in that trance situation and in that transcendental position, a musk deer or a poet as a musk deer would like to remain stable, still, forever. And that being stable, being still forever, poet used the word Mortandra. This is the aesthetic sleeping. This is a special type of transcendentalism. And a poet is trying to enjoy. While we are reading that poem, we could experience that type of feelings and find ourselves as a musk deer wandering here and there in the jungle in search of the fair companion, and with the yesness of the fair companion, having the bath, and after having the bath, crossing the clouds and having the aesthetic rain, and after the bathing in the aesthetic rain, we could enjoy the eternal sleep, eternal, peaceful, pleasurous, calm and quiet, enjoyable sleep again and again. Dear friends, this is, we can say, the meaning of the poem at one level. If you could find the another level, you will find that there is a human companionship, because he is waiting for she, but he is not moving towards she without her yesness. When her yesness comes to him with the lustful eyes and with the untold talk, he and she comes together and got united and will remain unparted forever. But all these things a poet don't want to exhibit directly, and that is the specialty of any poet who is a real poet. A poet don't want to disclose everything what exactly he want to say. A sublimeness of the poetry or the aesthetic sense of the poetry is that a poet talks indirectly. And here in this poem, a poet is talking indirectly and tries to put himself in the poem as a musk deer. And the musk deer is wandering here and there. There are so many details in the poem. I don't want to mention all that details here in the video. Personally, we can talk on that. We can easily have that type of discussion personally or physically we can have. And in this way, there are two layers. The verbal layer, that is the meaning of the words, we can understand that there is a musk deer and all that things. What is exactly looking verbally, we can understand by analyzing it. But if you want to appreciate the poem, you need to see the thematic meaning. And after understanding the thematic meaning of the poem, I came to conclusion that this is a very brilliant and sublime poem written by the poet, and it has that modernity in it. It is written in blank verse. There is no rhyming scheme in that, but there is sublimity, aesthetic element, and there is, we can say, metaphysical element is also there. Far conceits, imagery is there, and it appeals the readers to read it concentratively, think it very consciously. Then any reader can understand the meaning. It is not a poem that you can read and put the book aside. It appeals you to think on it. And when you think on it seriously, then the second meaning, or which we can say the exact meaning, will come to you. And when the exact meaning will come to you, then you will understand the poem. And after understanding the poem, you can comprehend the poem. And after comprehending the poem, you can appreciate the poem. So the appreciation of poem is more important. And in this way, I explained at my level best. Any one of you may explain it better than me. I would like to wait for that and expecting your response, reply on this explanation and appreciation of the poem, which is a translation of Mortandra, originally written in Marathi by Dr. O.M. Gazbiezer. He allowed me to translate that poem into English. I am expressing my thanks to him, and I would like to express my thanks to all of you, those who watch the videos. Thank you.